this was a hard nut to crack. I mean, the gameplay is just out of the picture. I mean, it's not good. It's mediocre at best. I mean, it works in the beginning, but it gets boring really fast because of the lethal game. It's just the same shit over and over again. I mean, the only thing the game got going with the gameplay is the difficulty. But that's, everything to be honest. I mean, of course, you can't really do that much. I mean, you have this bullet time shit, and it's good because of the difficulty, because it's, brings a whole, yeah, it's easier. But that's everything with the gameplay, to be honest. They take away your guns a hell of the fucking time with this faggoty as hell, making the game even more frustrating because it's not good. It's just mediocre. I mean, in the beginning it was good because it was something new and you played around with it, but eventually, like in the middle of the game, it started getting boring, and the only thing that got the game going was the story. And with the story, I really gotta think, because the first thing I think is, well, is it a good or a bad story? No, it's definitely a good story, but how good is it? Well, this is really the whole thing. The story is, I don't know what the story wants to be, if it wants to be a roller coaster story or a really, story that you think about. Because, well, it's let's just say this, it begins like an ordinary story, but then when Max starts, recalling everything that's happening, it becomes a roller coaster story. But because of they giving you so many questions and never really answer them, and never really answer them even in the fucking whole game. I mean, they give you a question and some of them they don't even answer. But anyway, it feels like the game wants to be, a story that you're gonna think and unravel with. But no, 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 that's not what it is. But here's the thing that's a bit magical about Max Payne. Because of the game, I mean, the story being so weird, almost like they're giving you stuff to play around with, but not anything, to be honest, because they don't really answer anything in the end either. It takes, the focus away on the gameplay and you just focus on the story. And what that does is it makes the gameplay, a lot better, because it's not really that focused on the game, but the gameplay died a long time ago. I mean, story-wise, I mean, the story in the whole fucking game, it died a long time ago. But the gameplay, I mean, the story is the only thing that's keeping it alive, and takes away a whole lot of negativity and flaws of the game, to be honest. I mean, that's just if you want to nitpick in, favors. But otherwise, no, it's. I mean, the thing that I saw like near the end was that I thought that the game, really was about, Max. I mean, it wasn't really about a bigger thing. It was about just Max. And the problem with that is that it takes up a whole lot of shit. A whole lot of good level shit that could be, even fantastic if it, really answered those questions. But the problem was they didn't, because the game was only about Sam. But my question is then why the fuck did they make it so, why did they even take up those big fucking things if it didn't really lead to anything? I mean, it was about conspiracies, about viruses, there's so many questions. But because the game only centers about Max, it just, well, let's say it's not really that good, to be honest, because they want to concentrate on this person, which they do. I mean, they do a really fucking good job at making the characters good. Every character, to be honest, even though it's not, I mean, it's only one character in the game, to be honest. They really just throw them in there and act like you knew them your whole life. And they really do a great fucking job at making the atmosphere really good. Even though it doesn't really fit in the gameplay, I mean, with the comics and everything, it fits in. It's actually great, even most of the time fantastic, to be honest. But just when it comes to gameplay, it just kind of loses everything, because it's like two worlds, to be honest. Like it's two different things, the gameplay and the story, which I think it would be better a movie, not the movie that came out, but if they did a movie out of this instead, I think it would be better. Or it would be exactly the fucking same, I don't fucking know. Anyway, back to this. Well, the character, what they do good. I mean, the beginning was too fast, to be honest. I mean, they were trying. they didn't try to build up anything, to be honest. I mean, the whole thing that happened in the beginning shouldn't really have any impact on you at all. It should have impact on you during the course of the game, because that's what they do. What the game does is making you understand how Max feels about this, and learning on, how far a man can go and everything, and that's, good. It's very good. But because of they taking up so many other points that, really can, if they just combine them, it would be really good, but because of they just took it up and never really answered it, it just becomes bad. It just hurts the fucking thing. I mean, the game is also very fast at the beginning, to be honest. You never really get your bearing at all. I mean, when you do get your bearing, you start getting this question, and then you just stuck into the story, which they never really answer, which is pretty bad, to be honest. So I don't really know. Mostly because I'm a bit shocked, to be honest, because I thought Max Payne was going to be a fantastic fucking game, but no, it really isn't. I mean, the gameplay is, good at best, but later it's just mediocre. And the story, I mean, the story is, if you take away some things, then of course it's, fantastic. It should take away a lot of things. I mean, everything that doesn't have anything to do with Max, then it's fantastic. But because of, they bringing up this whole conspiracy and viruses and anything, it just shoves Sam's away. I mean, Sam's still there. He still matters. I mean, that's the whole driving force. But this was, the whole the core of everything. I mean, the story is more like a fucking, it's more like a fucking biography. I mean, to be honest. I mean, it feels like that Max was trying to, tell us about himself and his struggle in life, but then he just went away and started telling us a story that he never really finished, to be honest. And that really hurts the whole thing. And it's kind of annoying as well, because it's good. I mean, the thing with Max, it's good, but because, that was kinda on the same level, and if they, if they had everything, it would be, fantastic. But now they didn't have anything, so it's not fantastic. It's just great. Now, you might say, well, it's great. Why are you so fucking, pissed? Well, it's because I thought it was fantastic. I mean, maybe I'm just, ignorant or something, but I really thought Max Payne 1 would be fantastic. But maybe let's say like this, as a standalone game, Max Payne 1, it's a great game. But, I mean, it's a great game, I mean, because of, then I'm very fucking nice if I say it's a great game. Because it really isn't, to be honest. Because even though it might be about, I mean, it is about Max, but it never really confirms it, so it should more be about fucking snow and Nordic mythology and then fucking Max, to be honest. As long as, I mean, the likelihood of it being about, just Max is the same amount of likelihood it's just about snow. So, just because it really doesn't confirm anything, in the game. I mean, of course, with Max, I mean, it's not, as likely as it's snow, but they really didn't confirm it in a good way, like really saying it's only about Max. I mean, literally, to be honest. So yeah, back to this. As Max Payne as a standalone game is a great game, but probably, I mean, with the second game, which I know the second game relies on Max. I mean, only if the second game relies on the first game, then of course the whole thing as a whole will be a fantastic game. But I don't really know yet, because, well, I have played the second one, but I don't remember shit about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed, to be honest, because I thought it was going to be fantastic, but it wasn't. It's just great. I mean, it's still good. It's great, but yeah, it's great. You know what? No. It's really not great, because I mean, with the gameplay, I mean, with the realism, they take away the guns all the time. I mean, I don't really know what they're trying to win of it, to be honest. I mean, making the game more realistic than it is. I mean, making the game, have concept or something. Well, to be honest, no, it doesn't really bring anything back. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, they take away, entertainment, but they give back fucking nothing. I mean, literally nothing. They give back nothing, to be honest. I mean, the only thing why they take away your guns is it's just because the gameplay isn't all that fucking good. So they need to push the challenge. The challenge is the only thing that keeps the gameplay a bit alive. It's like it's a life support system, the challenge, to be honest. That's why they take away your guns every time, because they want to have an illusion of a challenge, but technically it's really fucking easy because of the bullet time. Now, why I say it's really not that great, because it's the whole game just runs around instead of puking and shitting diarrhea. Because, I mean, you might say, well, now you're a bit hard. I mean, it's Max Payne is really a good game. It's about Max. Yeah, well, this is the whole thing. Yeah, it's an extra. I mean, with the comics, with the atmosphere, with the immersity, I mean, with the design, with the extra things, they're all extras, to be honest. I mean, they still need to have a solid ground to stand on, and that solid ground is a story, a relatively good story that you understand and have your bearing in, and a gameplay that's entertaining. And yeah, just entertaining. If you have those two little things, then I mean, then it's good. Then those extra things matters. But this game, I mean, Max Payne, it doesn't really have it. So those other things doesn't really matter, to be honest, because it doesn't really have a solid ground to stand on. Just like what was the fucking game before? Ah, never mind. I mean, the only thing I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have a ground to fucking stand on. So this whole thing with Max is just a thought, because they never really confirms it. I mean, it's the closest. I mean, the only thing that the game really, I mean, may be about, because they don't really confirm it in such a good way, to be honest. And the comics that really good doesn't matter because it doesn't really have a, you understand. It's like saying that a game that's half broken, you can't play that shit, but it has amazing fucking graphics, therefore it's a great game. I mean, you can't play it, so the graphic doesn't really matter. That, I mean, then it's the same with Max Payne. I mean, yes, it had comics, yes, it has this and that and that and that. Well, it doesn't really have a story that you can, God fucking damn it. I mean, fuck. I don't fucking know, to be honest, because it's why did it take away? Why did it take up so much else than just Max? I mean, if you just stayed on Max the whole fucking time and you just during the time answer the other thing, when you, face them, not, waiting with them, because those things are actually more interesting than the Max, because Max story is just a roller coaster story, while the other story is, a story that you need to think about, but they never answer it, so it just, fucking God. Okay, I mean, it's not, Max Payne isn't bad. I mean, it still have this thing with Max Payne story. I mean, character story, biography, or what the fuck it was called. That's great, and it also because of the gameplay stealing away so much negativity and flaws of the game just because the gameplay doesn't make up its fucking mind. Therefore, the game is good. It's a good game. It's a good game, but not that fucking good. It's a good Max Payne. It's a good game. God damn it.